So hello everyone. I hope you can all hear me well and that there is no interference or something that is not working. Welcome to this webinar regarding the AVIM family connectors. I introduce quickly myself. I am Daniel Jampa. I'm a business development manager regarding the harsh environment, military and industrial solutions. Today I make you a presentation regarding this sort of family connectors, and at first I will do a introduction as always of Diamond, of the company, and then of the connectors. So let's start. I will present you first the outline, so a quick overview of what I'm going to present you today. Like I said, about us, about the company, the progress of Diamond through the years, the vertical integration, main markets, what are our technologies. Then we will switch to the AVIM family. That is our main topic of today. Then the high temperature version that we have for those connectors. I will quickly present the laboratory and the clean room that we have in-house in our headquarters. And then my conclusions and the conclusions of those connectors. So about Diamond, we are a privately run company with more than 60 years of presence on the market. We are located, our headquarters is in Switzerland, in the Italian part, so on the south. As you can see on the right picture, the blue point, these are us. And then we have two subsidiaries, one in Germany, in Stuttgart, and one in the US, in Boston. And then we have as well a small sales office close to San Diego in California. And we have partners all over the world, in the UK, in Italy, in Japan, in France, and so on. We manufacture ultra high performance fiber optical assemblies and connectors. And what we do is that we manufacture those connectors all in-house. So from the raw material up to the final product, the final part. Yeah, let's go on. Our progress. Diamond was founded in the 1958. As you can see, this is a very old picture of the first years of Diamond in Switzerland. We manufactured for the first 20 years needles for the turntables, and the material was diamond. That's why the name of the company. Then in the 80s, the first 80s, we introduced the fiber optic, and in 1980, our first fiber optic connector. And then the worldwide known E2000 was introduced in the 1994. Then in 2003, we received accreditation and some qualification and certification for our laboratory that we have in-house, where we test instruments, you measure patch cords, and so on. In 2014, our first mill connector was released. It's the mill 38999. 1 year later, the HE2000. It is another harsh environment connector based on the E2000. And then in 2018, we received a space certification for ESA for our AVIM connectors, for one of those AVIM connectors that I'm gonna present you after. And then in 2020, we released the lensed ferrule. It's basically a lens that is put it on the front face of the ferrule that expands the beam, and where you can achieve high performances even with dirt and debris. So it's basically the ideal part for harsh environment applications and so on. So next slide. We are a vertically integrated company. For example, for the ceramic, plastic, and metal that are our top 3 materials that we use. We buy in this case, the zirconia powder, the plastic granulate, metal blanks, and we have all these machineries in-house to produce them and to arrive to the final part. So, for example, the body of the connector, the ferrules of ceramic, and so on. Our main markets are classified like this. We have the telecom, that is our first and our, let's say, biggest market or oldest market. Then we have the industrial, the aerospace, defense, and the medical markets. This the last three markets are we are working in the last 3 markets since 10-15 years, so they are kind of new, but I think they will rise. So our technologies, we work with polarization maintaining fibers, and we do power solution connector. We produce power solution connectors. What is new for power solution? We reached, or our connector was ideal for performances of 6 watt in single mode with a wavelength of 1550 nanometers. And around 6 months ago, we released the 16 watt. So this is for us a very good product and a milestone that we can reach those high performances. And then we have the polarization maintaining fibers and the PM plus. It's basically the same. The PM plus, it's basically the same of the PS fibers, but we can reach a better extinction radius, so a better ER value than the PM. So we are known for the ferrule technology that we have, for the special ferrules made of big component material, so 2 materials with ceramic on the outer part and titanium insert. And then, as you can see on the right video below, there is a crimping tool that crimps the front face of the ferrule to center the core of the fiber with the mechanical axis of the ferrule. So that's why we can achieve those tight tolerances in terms of insertion loss, for example, the 0.1 dB version, and so on. So now we step into the AVIM family market. We have 4 types of AVIM family connectors, if we can say like this. We have the AVIM connector, the Midi AVIM, the Mini AVIM, and the Micro AVIM. If we start from the left to the right, it's basically the biggest connector, the AVIM, to the Micro AVIM, that is our smallest connector. And with those connectors, we have as well, for each type of connector, the right mating adapter. I will show you now in detail each of the 4 connectors. As you can see here, we start with the AVIM connector. It's a dynamic improved connector, the oldest connector that was invented, was released from us in 1994. It's compatible with Kevlar reinforced cables, and it has a unique design for an easy cleaning and maintenance access and process. And on this connector, we can connectorize cables up to 3.5 millimeters. So not just on fiber, but thicker cable, or as well an outer jacket that could be a metal jacket, or like a protection armored jacket on it. All those connectors are vibration and shock resistant. They are proven for this, and they have all a good behavior in terms of insertion loss and in return loss. So low EL and a high RL. The second connector is the Midi AVIM. It is light due to the full titanium construction. Here as well we have the compatibility with Kevlar reinforced cables. And this connector is 100% compatible with Mini AVIM mating adapters. This is because the Midi AVIM was invented after the Mini AVIM that I will show you in the next slide. Because for the Midi AVIM we can have a termination on cable up to 2.1 millimeters. And for the Mini AVIM that is space qualified and certified, we can only arrive with a termination on fiber, so around 1.2 millimeters and not more, because the boot and all of that is designed for a maximum of this diameter. And as you can see in the picture on the right, we have the Midi AVIM and below the Midi AVIM on a metallic jacket. So with the Midi AVIM, it's still possible to have a metallic jacket, like in the AVIM. So now this is the Mini AVIM. This is our ESA space certified connector. It is compact, so a little bit smaller. Like the body of the connector is the same as the one from before, but as you can see on the picture, it has a boot, a thinner boot. That's why it's only compatible for fibers up to 1.2 millimeters. And it is lightweight, and here as well we have vibration and shock proven, and we have a special certificate on our webpage for this like not a special certificate, but the certificate from ESA is visionable on our website, where you can see as well the quality test reports and all the tests that have been made to certify this component. Our last connector is the micro AVIM. It is ultra compact and ideal for circuit boards because it could be put it on a PCB, and you can solder the mating adapter, the clip of the mating adapter on the PCB. As you can see on the picture, we have two micro AVIM connectors. In the middle we have the mating adapter with this clip that could be soldered on the PCB. It has a minimum space requirement, like I said before, ultra compact. It has a footprint of around 4.5 by 21 millimeters, so it's very compact. And here as well, the fibers outer diameter that we can put on this connector is 1.2 millimeters. It has an easy installation and is our smallest connector from the AVIM family, like I said before. So here I present you the AVIM applications that are not just space, like someone can think because of the space qualification certification. You can use this connector on multiple applications, for embedded solutions, for industrial, avionics, high temperature, high power applications, and as well sensors. And for the sensors, these are some projects that we worked recently regarding sensors on railways, on car racing tracks, where we used the Mini AVIM and the AVIM connector as a sensor. I will show you after in the next two slides some project that we did. I cannot go deeper because it has a privacy, but yeah, I will show you an idea of the application, what it could be. So regarding the space these products, Diamond is active in space in the mid of the 90s, especially in the US, for a lot of projects that we had in the United States regarding aerospace industry and companies. Since 2004, Diamond is collaborating with ESA for standardizing those connectors. For the moment, we have certified or Mini AVIM connector. As I said before, historical dates, so the AVIM is since 1994 on the market. It was our first AVIM connector. Then the Midi AVIM, the Mini AVIM is since 2009 on the market, but only certified from ESA since 2018. So after 9 years, we had the opportunity to certify this connector. So here we have a small image where you can see this is a Diamond space resource. It's basically a category on our website where everyone could have access to this space community just after, but only after registration. So you have to register, and I will show you after how to do it. And you can have access to 3D step files, quality test reports, data sheets, user manuals, all what is needed for those connectors. And then on the right, in this under this resource, you can find some of our space flight missions where was used a Diamond connector. For example, these are 6 space missions where one of our connector was used in the space. We have some missions that have passed and some missions that have to come in the future. And as you can see, it was used almost every time the Mini AVIM and sometimes the AVIM. I go out of the presentation quickly because I will show you how to have access in this resource. This is our website. It's the home. If you go on market, then down to military space avionics, you can see under the space category, you click on, and then you go down, you scroll down, and you have here, you see here, interested in more about space, register to access to the new space resource page, and you can click requests access now. And here you can see the space extranet registration. So that's it. I will go back to the presentation. So sorry for this. I will adjust it. One moment. Okay, so let's go back to it. Okay, this is okay. Then we go to the next slide. So these are some 3 examples of our projects. Regarding the first one is regarding space. So we had there was a mission on Mars in February 18th, 2021. So last year, almost 1 year ago, for the Perseverance rover, where one of our AVIM connector was built into the supercam, so on the head of this rover. And this supercam is used to provide imaging, chemical composition of the material on Mars, mineralogy, and etc. Another big project that we had recently was for the railways, where our AVIM connector was used as sensor to analyze the rail track stress, and in the worst case um, to prevent the rail breakage. So this is I think a very useful project, because for safety and all the reasons, as we know, on the territories in the countries, we have a lot of rail tracks, kilometers of tracks, and this could prevent maybe some not well like accident that we do not want to happen with the train. And the last project was motor racing. So Mini AVIM was used as a sensor mounted on race cars, but unfortunately we do not know more specifically about this. This was just like a summary of it. So we have for the AVIM connectors, and as well for almost all of our connectors, grade type, and this is for all of our standard products. We have the commercial grade, where we standardize the process. All the termination, manufacturing is standard, and the performances are as specified on the data sheet. So everything is standard and written in on our website as well. And then we have the space grade version, where, for example, for those missions or for the projects that we had to follow a list of things that we have to follow. For example, let's start from the laser engraved serialization, so a traceability of all the parts, all the components, and each patch cord or pigtail, each connector has his own serial number, so that we can have a traceability of them in case of something that happens. We have a customer specification, so you as a customer, we will check what are your needs, and we can therefore suggest you or propose you a solution. We do the offer preparation, followed by the PSD, product specification document, where we write, these are almost around 5-6 pages, where we have the drawing, the screening process, the measurements. We write everything down in this, and this is like a sort of manual, instruction manual or something like this, where you will receive with your components. We do the screening. The screening is all the tests that we do in our laboratory: thermal cycle test, vibration test, shock test, the pull test, every type of test. And then the space grade components will be packaged in a clean room, so in a controlled environment. And then our third grade is the, let's say, custom grade. It's based on customer needs and customer requirements. If someone wants to have a space grade, a component in the middle of a commercial grade or a space grade, it's a sort called enhanced grade, where we follow all the rules of the space grade except the screening, so no measurements and so on. But yeah, the most common types are the commercial grade, so the standard one, or the space grade. We have as well high temperature connectors, And for the AVIM family, we have as well those version. For example, for the AVIM, for the Midi AVIM, and for the micro AVIM. That's why. So the reason for this, it's because those connectors are made in have a metal housing. Therefore, they could reach high temperatures compared to a plastic connector, an E2000, F3000, LC or so. The temperature range is between -55 up to 150 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit, -67 up to 302, around this range. The difference is that we have a black shrink instead of the standard boot, because the standard boot will melt at those temperatures. That's why we put a shrink. And then we have the metal tubing, the PEEK tubing, because the PEEK tubing can reach as well these high temperatures, and not like the hydral tubing or the standard PVC tubing that we use for telecom patch cords. So this is our laboratory. We have, like I said on the first slide, test and calibration laboratory. This laboratory was accredited by the Swiss Accreditation Service in 2002, and we offer services for calibration of measurement instruments. We measure and test the fiber optical components, and not just our component that we produce for one customer, but we can have as well external customers that ask us to calibrate his own instrument, or external components, fiber optical components that we can measure and test. So yeah, this is what we can as well, what we offer in this laboratory. The next slide is our clean room. We have an ISO 7 clean room where we supply products, connector set, pigtails, patch cord, mechanical parts, cleaned and packaged in this controlled environment. For example, the space grade that is packaged in this clean room. The aspects that we take into account are temperature, humidity control, electrostatic discharge, gas contamination, pressurization, and so on. Total surface is 40 square meters, but we have planned to expand it this year, so we will have soon a bigger area for it. So my conclusions regarding this presentation regarding the AVIM connectors. Like I said, we have a connector or version of connectors for each type of application or environment. In the case of AVIM connectors, not just for the space, but you saw we have for the railways, for industries, so in each application you can use these AVIM connectors. They have good behavior in terms of insertion loss and return loss. They are available in multi-mode, single mode, and PM fibers, and we have them as PS version, and as well PM, PS, PM, PSF in free space, all the technologies mixed, etc. Like I said before, they have an ultra harsh and vibration proof. They are approved for those vibrations. The Mini AVIM is space certified and qualified. And the executions, commercial grade, space grade, or custom grade, or your grade, like I said. Yeah, this is my conclusions. This is my last slide. I will leave here my contact details, my email or my direct line. I I would like to invite you to write me an email if you have any inquiry, any project or doubts or anything that you want to know about Diamond or about the connectors. I take the opportunity to as well say that we have the next webinar that I will do in 1 month about the mill connectors. Yeah, I appreciate that you have participated to this webinar. I would like to thank you, and yeah, I wish you all a good afternoon, evening, depending on the time zone. And yeah, thank you and see you in the next webinar. Bye.